Did they like make something new or something? Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. What the? Close. What is this? Hold on. What is this? Did they just? What the? Thanks for joining. Dude, thanks, Coach. Thanks for something I don't need. First of all, I made this automatically chair where you can finally sleep. It just costs $1.99. About this room. What's about this room? Oh yeah, 12 people have. I was just about to say, there we go, game. I guess like it seems like my game crashed. Thanks, thanks Jesus, yeah. I guess we're just gonna leave it like that. To be honest, I'm literally just like thinking about like. So whenever I actually went to my first period of like the classroom, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna get lost. So I would have to like go act like the other people, being like, hey, can you tell me where room 301 is? To be honest, actually, my first class 305. I went over there, and then somehow, actually, I have 2 classes with my friends, and then the others, I don't know anyone in there. So I'm like, yeah, teacher, I don't know anyone in here, so I can like switch classes. So that'll be great. Do they not? Hold on, I'm gonna look for like a parkour. We should look for a parkour map. Fire parkour, okay? Purple parkour. Full body parkour 2. Crystal Cave, I think we'll play that later. Parkour for free gifts now. Parkour runner, I definitely cannot do that because I can't run. I definitely cannot run. Rec room parkour, I actually never done rec room parkour. Jurassic parkour, yes, I've done that one and that one too. This one you see me do like a million times. One about me doing Chuck E. Cheese whenever I was like trying to explain that, you know, the whole entire thing of how someone actually murdered them. Yeah, I'm not even sure now if someone actually murdered them or either they were like that stupid and then, you know, they just killed themselves and then like the exit from like the front door, you know. But while we're to go there, I'm actually gonna explain my classes. So 305, same class, and then I say what mostly to my friends and the third person who keeps on saying sheesh a lot, and then he got in trouble twice, in gym and orchestra. And then I'm like, that's your fault, dude, not mine. Gym is for him actually accidentally kicking someone with a backpack and then, you know, messing with the people right in front of him. And then, well, I'm literally just being like, that's your fault, not mine. Settings. I think I feel like settings, music. Okay, so music, we're gonna like turn it off because we don't wanna. Ooh, fly, what's for? At least I have jump boost. So yeah, whenever I actually went to like my classroom, I'm like, what am I supposed to do over here? And then so my first day, it was like Tuesday because on like Monday we had to like a free, well, when we're supposed to like check out the classes and you know, do all that. So on Monday we actually had to go check out like the classes because you know, because we were like new to that school and also I've not been into like that school and the whole dress code thing, which I hate. Because they're like, oh yeah, you can't wear that, or you can't wear jackets, or you can't put on your hoodie, or you can't actually talk with your friends in lunch. I was actually talking to a friend, and then yeah, we were like, you know, all talking, and then while this woman comes up, who's like, that literally looking at everyone, being like, shh, don't talk, shh, don't do that, or shh, you can't talk to each other, or you can't have your feet over, you can't have your feet out of the chair. I'm like, can I not do anything, ma'am? I'm like, ma'am, I was told about this school and I think you were wrong. I'm like, ma'am, do you need to switch classes? Cause I gotcha. And then yeah, like the first day I came, I had to go to the cafeteria because I was about to like eat breakfast. Oh, you know that. My mom put in books, notebooks, pencils. It was so heavy that I could barely like, you know, move. And then I'm like, ow, my back. And then whenever that happened, my mom's like, no, you're fine, you're fine. Now I know how my brother feels whenever he was in like middle school, because I'm like, you know, you just wear it off, you're all good. Even though it's so difficult that you have to have like a dress code and like everything. And I'm just like feeling like I should like just probably move, but I made like a lot of friends, so mostly I'm just like thinking like, yeah, you know, I just want to like move on to like this school, you know. Literally, like most of that, I'm like, teach, yeah, I think you got the wrong school because, you know, you're not actually letting us do anything fun. And you wanna know something? I can't curse. It's like, because I actually have, so you see, I curse a lot whenever I was around 10 or 9. And that was because, I learned it at like a very, very young age because of my brother. And then I have like this thing where I actually, whenever I was around 10 and like 4th grade, I couldn't cuss anymore because I had to like stop talking with my friend because his mom said, oh yeah, no, you cannot hang out with that person who cusses a lot and then you'll learn how to like cuss, even though he cusses. Like whenever me and him are like playing like GTA, we cuss a lot. I'm like, hey yo dude, let's go ahead and go to like that place where we can just, you know, like kill some people and then like steal their money, or how about like rob a store. That's what me and him did. We robbed the store, we went into like cars, and then we're like, hey yo dude, how about we literally go to the jail, and then how about we actually get like 5 stars and see what will happen. 1, you get the SWAT team, that's the thing, what happens. So the jail is really, really far, and you literally have to have like that thing, transport. First of all, Eli, if you see this video, well then I'm sorry, but my brother was at Taco Bell with his girlfriend. She's the girl, she's a friend. They were like talking, and then whenever we were about to pick up my brother, he's like, oh yeah, because you know, like everyone left, and like we all have like a whole group, and you know, yeah, no, I don't believe him. Because they look like more like a lot of more than like friends. Yeah, and then my parents were like, "Oh, really? Did you see that right now?" Yeah, then my parents went after me whenever I was actually talking with one of my friends, and I'm like, "Mom, I will slap you right now if you don't shut up." You don't know something? So whenever I actually went to go get like pants, because for like school rules and dress code, and I went over there to like the shop, and then whenever I actually came out, because I was like done changing, and I went out, and like how you like have like those doors thingamajiggies, and then like only like one per person can go. That's where I went. I went in there. I saw one of my childhood best friend, and then I'm like, oh, and then I shut the door. My mom. I'm like, yeah, no, and then I shut it, and then my mom's like, hey, what's wrong? And then I'm like, oh, nothing. I'm just gotta stay here for like a little bit. And then they started talking, and then I'm like, oh my God, Mom, what are you doing? And then she's like, oh, really? Oh, wait, so you knew my son? Oh, at like the old school? Well, she remembers. Because one time I wanted to sneak off, and I wanted to go to like a friend's house and go to the backyard and then hang out. Yeah, I wanted to go over there because we were like across neighbors. And then one time, whenever I was like a dumb kid, like a 9, I'm like, and then I like sneak off whenever I was like outside, and then I told my brother, I'm like, Eli, don't tell Mom and Dad. And then he's like, yeah, sure. But then I accidentally got caught because I was being sneaky enough. And after that happened, now I'm like at the point where I'm just like, yeah, Mom and Dad, I'm totally not gonna do that ever again. Yeah, I'm never gonna do that again. To be honest, my room's messy, and I'm just not even gonna have anyone over. To be honest, my parents like give me like the excuse where, if you wanna have someone over, you gotta clean your room. And I'm like, Mom, who am I even gonna have over? Because I actually thought that I wasn't even gonna like have friends like coming over. Because of like how far everyone is from like my school. Because I lived like very, very far from like my school. It was like very, very far, where we had to like drive. And then while I'm like, Mom, who am I gonna have over? The president? And so yeah, after that either that or my mom would tell me that, hey, you know what? Your grandma bought this house, and you know, if she comes over and then sees this mess, she's definitely about to kick you out. And I'm like, Mom, Grandma has not visited us. I'm like, Mom, Grandma's not gonna visit us. Next thing you know, she actually comes back, and then she's like, hey, how you guys doing? And then while I'm literally just sitting there on my game, literally like slowly closing my door, being like, oh, hey, Grandma, I'm just give me a second real quick. And then my grandma's like, oh, okay. Yeah, and then I made sure to clean my room. Either that or I just, dang it. Chance mostly I would do that, or either I would just be like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'll just like clean like another day. It turns out though, literally, like, I have like only one job, and that's for me to like keep my room clean. Because if I don't, then my mom's definitely like gonna open the door and be like, hey, clean your room. Or either if I don't, then she'll take away my PlayStation 4, which I won't be able to like post like a month or so. Just, I never told my mom about, how I'm like, my brother actually has a Twitch and YouTube account. So you know, actually follow my brother. Tennessee does like the whole thing where Fortnite and you know. I still tell him he's like a Fortnite kid. I'm like, Eli, are you really like a Fortnite kid? Just, I'm like at the point where I don't play Fortnite. Like, I'm not like at the point where I'm like the kid who like rages at like every single day, like damn game being like, what the fuck, man? You bad at the game, bro. Like, no, I'm not like that. Never like that. I used to whenever I was like stupid, and I used to do it like as a joke, and then you know I almost lost. Well, I did lost. I did lose my account for doing that. So, because I'm like at the point where I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I totally get you. Can we not grab onto it? Well, hold on, so we can go right there, go right there. Yeah, dang it. So it's literally like so cold in my room, which now I literally have shoes, pants, and like a shirt on, and a necklace and a ring. Ooh, I'm just being like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna post a video, and then whenever my parents actually went to go pick me up, well, mostly whenever they did come pick me up, I literally had like wait in like the sun, literally running to the. Well, my parents picked me up like across the school just to pick me up. Mom just like, really? Why can't you just guys pick me up over there? And then and like my last class is like a parking lot, the bus. Which my parents asked me, you know, you can just walk home. And then I'm like, yes, I would definitely love to walk home. I'm like, can I walk home? Because mostly I'm like, hey, mom, dad, can I walk home? Either that or I'll just be like, oh, okay. Either I would like want to like walk home, but either I walk home because it's not like that far. So either I'm gonna walk home or either go over there to like the gas station, like, you know, get me something. I just wait over there for my parents. Whenever I do bring my phone, since my phone was like at like 5%, and then I'm like, what the hell? Because like every single like time, like I forget to like charge my phone, and then I'm like, really? You really have to do this now? And then yeah, now I always have to remember to charge my phone so I can tell my parents either I'm gonna go to the gas station, and I need to tell my parents to give me money. I was actually about to like walk all the way over there to like the gas station, like give me something, but then I remember I can't count. I can't count money, that's the thing. One thing I can do, I can write extremely fast. Second, I can whistle like a bird. And third, I can't count. My special ability is that I can't count. First ability, I can whistle like a bird and I can talk to the birds. I can ask them where to go. That's how I get to school. I'm like, but hey birds, tell me which way I'm supposed to go. And then they tell me. I'm like Mother Nature, but in like a boy version. Actually, no, I'm like a dumb Mother Nature. I'm like, hey birds, tell me which way I'm supposed to go. And I just put it in like bird translation. I just whistle at them. That's what I do. I just whistle at the birds, being like, hey, tell me which way I'm supposed to go. And then they tell me. I mean, it's not that difficult. I just need to like whistle at the birds, and then, you know, I'm all good. Dang it. So I'm not lying. I can actually whistle like a bird. I wish I was lying, but I'm not. And usually whenever people actually tell me this, they're like, hey, you whistle like a bird. And then I'm like, and then usually I tell them like a funny joke, being like, yeah, because I can speak to the birds. Still, it really is funny whenever I tell them like, yeah, because I can whistle to the birds, I can talk their language. The only thing I need to do is just whistle, and then they'll tell me which direction to go. Hey. Hey, I'm done. Feels like I'm in like a volcano. Hey, look at me, I have a winter costume. Actually, hold on, I'm just gonna pick up the winter. Yeah, I want to keep this one. This one looks totally different than the other ones, even though it's not. Translation, like whenever I literally just no, because I literally had to wait like a whole entire hour just for my parents to come, and then like my dad's like, where's my beef jerky? I totally brought you. And then I'm like, Dad, you probably didn't bring one. That's what my mom said. She's like, you probably didn't bring it. You just probably left it on the counter. And then she's like that, and then it's like literally just right under, like right beside me, and then I'm like, hey Dad, here's your beef jerky. And then my dad's like, see, I brought it. Dude, I don't know what's so important about beef jerky. It's actually good. I'm really good. I'm just gonna. Don't know why we literally just like throw it. I look so cool. I'm so cool. Yeah, I'm not cool. To be honest, whenever I literally just had to like walk all the way over there, I'm like, where the hell is my parents? And then after that, so I actually just wait until like they come, and then I'm like, where were you guys? And then she's like, yeah, sorry, it's just we have to go do some errands. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, it's fine. And then after that, after class, there's one thing that was funny. One of my friends, whenever I was like sitting here by lunch, she's like, you know what? Whenever I very, very much like mashed potatoes, because whenever my parents actually make mashed potatoes and something else, I literally just go like, yeah, no, the mashed potatoes are mine. And then what I said was, so you literally go ahead and then go over there being like, Mom, so is that for me or is that for my stomach? Because I think it's for both. And then me and her started laughing, and then she says, but I'm not really hungry. And then I'm like, and then she says, do I really have a choice? And then I'm like, yes, no. I'm like, no, you do not. You're coming with me right now. And then what was actually perfect, there was actually mashed potatoes. Well, baked potatoes over there. And then I'm like, there you go. And then she's like, you know, let me just go ahead and get some apple juice. And then I'm like, there's apple juice in one. I didn't see no apple juice. I just got some regular orange juice. Because they actually look the same, but instead, the whole entire thing is like red, just like orange juice. But instead, like the whole entire like outside red, orange juice, the color orange. I'm gonna have to try apple juice later. And then what I got was pizza. I still can't believe they had pizza. And then after I ate lunch, so did she. And then I'm like, you already ate that baked potato, damn. And then after that, we went back to class. And then, so see, I was like sitting at the back, and that's when I met her. Because I'm like, I can't read it. And then me and her started laughing like the first day. And then I'm like, teacher, I can't see. And then she's like, move front desk. And then I sit right behind her because she said so. And then I'm like, teacher, I still can't see it. Like, I could not. Like, no, it literally looked like that. And then, like, I could, like, not see it. Because of my eyesight, I had to get surgery. And then I had to sit right beside her. And then I'm like, oh, then okay. Which I can now see. And then whenever I actually went to class today, and so did she, our desks were literally almost next to each other. And then I'm like, really? I'm like, me and her started laughing. And then whenever I actually dropped my mechanical pencil, and it was like right underneath her shoe, and then I actually did the math equation, I could not grab it, because if I could, then either it would land somewhere else. Either it would absolutely go somewhere else, which I do not want to go. Which it would be very, very disgusting. Because I swear to myself, I would never ever date again. I mean, I could still date, just that I don't want to right now. Middle school, we can't date, the whole school rule. You can't touch anyone, you can't do anything sexual. You can't kiss anyone, you can't hold hands with anyone, and you can't, yeah, and then I asked her, hey, can you grab my mechanical pencil? Because I cannot grab it. And then I'm like, hey, can you grab it? And then whenever we went to go leave, she's like, okay, everyone put your desks right next to each other. And then I'm like, what? So people are sitting right next to each other? Damn. Is that kind of like sexual or something? Is that what they're doing these days? And then after class, then I'm like, oh, I can finally go to sleep. And then whenever I actually did that, a couple of days ago, I was like playing Uno with my mom, and then I got a paper cut, and then I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, Mom, I think we got a bloody Uno card. I mean, it's like normal for me. Well, it's actually very, very normal for me to actually cut myself, because I do that like all the time. And then the next day, whenever I was actually opening the Coke, I think the middle part actually, cut me, and then I started bleeding, and a part of my skin fell off. It's just like a tiny part, and then my whole Yeah. So now I have 2 cuts on both of the opposite fingers. The fingers, the pointy fingers, whenever you point at someone, both of those. I cut myself from a paper cut on the right where I write on, which whenever I actually went to science or history, the teacher said, okay, I need you guys to write something, and then I'm like, teacher, I can't write. If I tried doing that, then my hands were hurt because I got paper cuts and because they're not healed yet. Which the one on the left is kinda not healed. You can still see it, she said. Yeah. But on the right, then yeah, you can definitely see it, which I'm not gonna be that kind of person and let people see, you know, my pain on the inside. And then after that, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, yeah, I'm all good. And then, you know, after that, I'm like, you know, yeah, I'm all good. And then, the person right beside me on the road, because we were all doing like a group work with 2 English person, that's me, and like this other girl, and then a person who speaks Spanish. Well, he writes Spanish, he speaks a tiny bit of Spanish, because so we can, he speaks Spanish to the teacher, but not us, because we do not speak Spanish. I kind of do, because I can only say gracias, or you know, sí, gracias señorita, or, you know, those, only those. But mostly I speak Japanese, like ohayo or date bene. Actually, no, date bene is not even a word. I just got that from like anime and don't even know why I'm saying it. The most words that I usually use is konnichiwa and ohayo. Most of those 2 words. Because right now I can only think about those 2 words and not the others. Because right now I'm tired and it's like 11 something in the morning and I have to go to bed. Because I have school tomorrow and I have to like carry all my stuff, and like the first class I have with like my friends, and I just, you know, want to get to, like, I want to like wake up still, and you know. And so, actually the short thing, whenever I actually, so the girl right next to me, you know, we did that, and I'm like, so there's one thing there's a problem. Everyone heard me because I said, yeah, I accidentally cut myself. And some people might think in like wrong ways that I cutted myself. Like I cut in myself because I don't have depression. No, I cut myself because of a paper cut, and I cut myself from a coat. Which I don't want to tell people that. I'm like, no, because I'm like, how can paper gives you paper cuts? And then I just got one from like an Uno card. And so, yeah, it kind of sounded wrong, but really it doesn't, because I just got a paper cut and a cut from a Coke. And then after that, and then I'm like, oh. So there's one thing, I can barely write. And then she's like, oh, but is that why you didn't do it? And then the person who was the leader of the whole group, so the Spanish guy right next to me, he pointed at me. Because we were like the last group who didn't have a leader, and then he pointed at me, literally specifically me, and then I'm like, what? I'm like looking around, be like, what? Why me? And I'm like, what? And then they're like, okay, and then I'm like, you traitor, how could you? And then yeah. Well, then I tell the girl right beside me, be like, you ratted me out, how could he? Yeah, then after that, yeah, I'm not trusting the Spanish person anymore. He ratted me out. I mean, he's like, okay, so you know what? This is just gonna be you, and yeah, I'm just gonna point at you because you look like the person who's gonna be a bad leader, which I definitely am. Because if I was the leader, then I would most likely put you to hell. I might be like, drop down and give me 50, okay? Which I would most likely do that. And so after that, my whole entire classes will be all good. So yeah, that's mostly what happened to me, because I'm just like a dumbass and I cut myself an accident. So you know guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video because I'm tired and I need to go to my classes at like 8:45 in the morning. Which I barely have time to eat breakfast, so I just have to go to the gym because I'm not gonna eat breakfast. I do not even eat breakfast. Actually, I never even got a chance to eat breakfast because you have to go to like the gym and everything, and I'm not ready to do that yet. And you know, I mean, I'm not doing that, and some people come in like 1 hour late. I'm like, really? How dare you? And so yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and, you know, go to sleep, and you know, cause I'm tired and I want to change shirts out of this one because this one is bothering me. And so, you know what, I'm just gonna go to bed. So good night, thank you guys for watching, and remember, I'm always a dumbass. And so sometimes I would be posting, but since Saturday and Sunday are coming up, I will make videos on those days. But if I do get a chance, and like sometimes I would make videos on some of the early days, usually around like midnight, because I'm not going to do it at morning because that's where I have classes. And if I do get lucky and if I do have a day off, then I'll do that. But right now it's just like, you know, struggling with middle school and you know all that, and dress code. So thank you guys for watching and have a great day. And good